This that
Red Panda Anthem.
Ian, what's up?
This that Red Panda Anthem.
Red Panda, what's good?
Red Panda
That's amazing, man. It's good to see you again. So you're with Ally. You're investing in real estate. Incredibly dedicated, incredibly passionate. But how do you balance all of that? Because one of the things that I see that men struggle with is like, we'll amass a certain amount of money, hit these career goals, but then maybe the family life or health life is off. So how are you currently managing how to balance it all going into 2023?
No, great question. Going into 2023, got a lot of big things on the horizon. So I have a wife, I have a daughter, and I also have another kid on the way. So we're going to wait. It's a surprise.
Congrats.
Congrats. So as we think about not, the balance of it all, right? Your career, your entrepreneurial activities, the things that you're doing in the community, we got to make sure we don't let the grind finish, right? So what's the point of working for all these things if you're not able to spend time with the people that you're doing, right? So one of the ways that I've been able to balance it all is having a plan and writing it down, right? So the biggest thing is that people don't write down these goals. Every goal that I've achieved in life is because I wrote it down. I wrote it down. I looked at it every day. I'm a big sticky note person, right? So I'm in the mirror brushing my teeth. I have sticky notes on the window. On my phone, I'm looking at notes and jotting things down. So writing it down, and I can't stress the importance of that enough. And so many people are grinding without understanding what the finish line looks like, right? So even understanding if you're on track or if you have the tools needed to get you there. So just, think about it from this way. I grew up playing sports. I know you all play sports as well. The only time we played basketball and didn't keep score was in practice, right? So it's people really out here living real life, grinding without keeping score, not knowing what they're working toward, right? So you write things down, you know what you're working towards, and you're understanding how to fill in those gaps or those gaps are missing, right? So the famous quote that I always think about from Zig Ziglar is, if you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time, right? So I had a plan, I wrote it down, and then I started working toward it. And the way you do that is making sure that you understand what you're moving toward, and then building a team around you of people that's going to help you get there.
Can you talk about the Minecraft thing? Because I think that's interesting, especially for a lot of parents that's listening. Can you talk about that? How you was able to incorporate financial literacy in the video game?
Yep. So Minecraft is huge. We wouldn't be able to talk about Minecraft if I didn't talk a little bit more about moguls in the making, right? So the idea for Contropolis, which is a world within the hit video game Minecraft, was the idea that came from our interns from the Moguls in the Making program. So they were tasked with, hey, we have this financial education. So when I first took over the team, we had education for elementary age students, and we had things for adults. We had a gap in that middle school age range. So we tasked those students over the summer with, hey, let's create something in this space. And they came up with, hey, let's build a world in Minecraft, right? So it started off as an internship capstone project, right? So they pitched this in front of our CEO, JB, some of the other executives, and Ally, being true to an ally in the community. Not only did they say, hey, this is great, this is a great idea, they tasked us with, hey, let's go out and create this. So we teamed with Microsoft to create the concept of a video game teaching financial education. So not only are the students in there learning financial education, they're really going through a real life simulation. So it starts with, hey, you're picking a career, but you can't go and, buy a home until you create a bank account. You have to go understand about banking. You have to understand about taxes. It's teaching students about investing. And by incorporate those lessons into a game that the students are already loving and they're playing, they're learning while they're playing. It's going to continue to grow. We're excited that we're like over 4 million downloads of the game since we launched, because the students are already learning this. And we've been able to start to implement this in schools, after school programs like the Boys and Girls Club, because they're having fun, but at the same time, they're learning these concepts in a real life scenario.
One of the things you said earlier is that you invested in real estate. Now, obviously, you're working at Allies investment online bank, and so most people get discouraged, right? Because they work a 9 to 5, and they're like, "How am I going to build wealth from where I'm at?" But that's something that obviously you was. Did you start out doing that, or is that as you were going along in your career, you realized, look, I want to diversify, I want to have some investments so I can actually build wealth? Can you talk about that process and how you started?
Yeah, no, great question. So my approach to kind of wealth building and how I got into real estate is similar to your slogan of assets over liabilities, right? So you either have time or you have money, right? Sometimes you get to both. That's the goal. That's the goal at the end. But when I was working in Big Four County, I was making decent money. I was making decent money, but instead of kind of going to blow it on buying liabilities, me and my wife decided that we wanted to build assets, right? So even before I got married, I used my career money to buy my first fix and flip property. So straight out of college, started working, bought a property. At the time, you all know anything about Detroit real estate, you can get a piece of property for a decent price, right? So not as easy right now. There's still opportunities out there, but I was able to buy a property. Had some contractors that I built relationships, some family friends and things like that. Buy a property, fixed it up, flipped it out, and made a decent amount of money. And actually, I used that money to buy my first home early on. And I kind of fell in love with it. Not only was I able to kind of build wealth through the joy of putting families into homes actually made me go out and get my real estate license. So not only do I invest in real estate, I have my real estate license as well, because everything I do is rooted in giving back and helping others. So now I'm helping families, I'm helping, single moms, I'm helping veterans, I'm helping others get into home ownership because it's one of the ways to build wealth. When we think about building wealth, there's only a couple of ways that you really can build wealth, right? So real estate is in my opinion. So real estate, investing in the capital markets. Shout out to Ian. I have put yes in chat all the time. Thank you, brother. I'll put yes.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
In a second, right? So, real estate, investing in the capital markets, and then entrepreneurship. So I had to think of a way of, hey, I'm putting in this time. I'm not trying to work until I'm 60, like I said earlier, but what are ways that I can use my assets to pay down my life?
Yeah.
So started with real estate. We've expanded to some other businesses along the way as well.
So for 2023, going back to your goal setting.
Froze.
Oh, they caught him in the matrix.
He's frozen.
I thought that was me.
I'll pick up. So you're a real estate investor and you have a real estate license as well. This is something I got MG the Mortgage Guy says all the time. Like, it's one of the best ways to actually become knowledgeable in places to get a real estate license. So how has that helped you become a better investor?
Yeah. So you saying on the real estate side or just
on the real estate side, like having a real estate license, how has that helped you be a better real estate investor?
Yeah. So access is key, right? So we always talk about do your home, right? So whether it's investing in the capital markets, whether it's building a business and whatever you're doing, you always want to do your homework. So the best way for me was getting a license, learning the trade, learning the skills behind it, and utilizing that to get access to the MLS. And I'm able to study the market and kind of understand what's going on in my market to invest in real estate. So that's helped me not only fix and flip, but also buy, multifamily homes and put families into homes and kind of build a portfolio because I have knowledge and understanding behind, just real estate, not just what I heard on, YouTube or just what I heard someone say on the podcast. I went out and gained the knowledge for myself. I feel like it's always important, whatever business endeavor you're going to get into, to get some knowledge into it. I'm not saying everyone needs to go out and get a license in the business that they're investing in, but you want to do your homework and not just take everyone else's opinion or knowledge on it. So I got the license, and not only did it help educate me, but it helped me save some money as I was going out and buying properties and investing in things like that.
For the people that are in corporate that are saying, hey, I don't have enough time, Can you give them a really simple blueprint for how to be able to be excellent at their job, also invest in other assets, and have the same kind of balance they want?
Yeah.
Because you've been able to do that well, but I don't think enough people in corporate know how to do so. Can you walk us through that?
Yeah. So the first step is, building a team. Mentorship is key, right? So look to those that's great in the spaces that you're looking to get into, right? So whether it's real estate, whether it's transportation, whether it's, clothing, whatever the case may be, look to those that's doing it well and learn. So you may be working a 9 to 5, but it's 24 hours in a day. So you gotta hustle, right? So some people, I watch the interviews that you all have done, Floyd, and shout out to my frat brother Robert Smith. That was a legendary interview. So when we think about the time that these people are putting in, and they're already billionaires, people are like, I don't have enough time. Well, that's not true. You just don't have a plan. You don't have a plan, and you're not strategic enough about what you're going to do. And honestly, you got to think about your why. So building a team, understanding your why. Did I lose you all?
No, we're here.
No, we're here.
Yeah. So building a team, understanding your why, and then surrounding yourself by people that have the same kind of grind and hustle. So one of the things the mentor told me a while ago is that if you're the smartest person in your field, you need to find a new field. So every day I'm continuing to, assess my crew, assess what I'm bringing to the table, because iron sharpens iron, right? So surrounding yourself, not only mentors, but the people that you spend the most of your time with, right? We've all heard the saying, you're a result of the 5 people that you spend the majority of your time with. So who's in your circle? So your circle should be having mastermind sessions. Every time you link up, it shouldn't be to talk about sports and, whatever else is going on in the news, shaving and things like that. It should be, hey, let's mastermind. How are we building? How are we planning for 2023? So finding your people, surrounding yourself with the right people, and then having a plan. A lot of people confuse activity with productivity. They're not the same. Just because you're busy doesn't mean that you're busy doing something. So once you have a goal in mind and you know what you're working towards, that's how you're going to do it. You have the people, you have the team, you have your mentors, and then at the end of the day, you got to write it out so you can know what you're working towards. But it's 24 hours in a day. You have enough time if you're working on time.
This that
Red Panda Anthem.
Ian, what's up?
This that Red Panda Anthem.
Rap Panda, what's
This
good?
that Red Panda Anthem.
Your
Whole
boy.
clip going up. I know they can't stand